Give it 1 minute to let everybody in from the waiting room. As a reminder, please mute yourself. If you are present representing the licensee or you're an individual with personal knowledge who wishes to testify, please turn on your camera. This is a hearing before the Licensing Board for the City of Boston. Today's hearing is an emergency license premise inspection hearing. Today is Monday, December 21st. Today's hearing is being conducted pursuant to certain temporary amendments to the open meeting law. That is what allows us to meet virtually. I will first read the licensee's information into the record. I will then ask who is present on behalf of the licensee. I will then ask who's present on behalf of the Boston Police Department, and I will swear in all parties. Calling Dolce Fumo Restaurant Group Corp., doing business as Rabbia's Dolce Fumo, located at 71 to 73 Salem Street. The license type is a CV 7-day wine, malt, and liqueur license. The notice of the hearing was issued December 14th, 2020. The incident description: the board is in receipt of multiple complaints and multiple social media posts indicating that the licensee is failing to adhere to the mandatory COVID-19 guidelines by selling alcoholic beverages after 9:30 p.m., not adhering to the requirement that all patrons wear masks except when seated, and not adhering to the requirement that all employees wear masks. This is in violation of Governor Charles Baker's executive order. Is there anyone present on behalf of the licensee?
Good morning, Madam Secretary, Madam Chair, members of the board, and everybody else on the Zoom. This is Attorney Daniel Toscano. I represent the licensee, Dolce Fumo, and located on 7173 Salem Street in Boston. And I expect that when the owner-operator is Kim Fontaine and the manager on record should be on the Zoom.
I'm here, but you can't see my picture for some
Okay,
reason.
she is on the line.
Ms. Fontaine, could you please turn on your camera?
For some reason, it isn't working here.
Liam, what was that again? To get the camera on?
Alt-E.
If you hit the Alt button and V at the same time, that should turn on your camera.
All right, there we go. Thanks.
There you go. And Detective Hernandez, you will be testifying on behalf of the Boston Police Department?
I will.
Detective Hernandez and Ms. Fontaine, could you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please proceed with the police report.
Okay, I'll be reading from police report, which I wrote on Friday, December 18, 2020, at about 9:25 p.m. Sergeant Detective William Gallagher and Detective Eddie Hernandez, assigned to the Licensed Premise Unit, responded to Rabbia's Restaurant located at 73 Salem Street. Detectives were there to speak to staff regarding a complaint stating that the establishment was not following COVID guidelines. Detectives met with the person in charge, Ms. Kim Fontaine. Detectives explained to Ms. Fontaine that they had viewed multiple Instagram videos that had been posted from inside this establishment. These videos showed on numerous dates more than 6 patrons were seated at a table. Employees were observed not wearing face coverings, and on one occasion live entertainment was being provided. Detectives reiterated the importance of the governor's and licensing board's advisory prohibition of these activities. As a result, what detectives observed, Sergeant Detective Gallagher issued license premise inspection notice 005470 for failure to adhere to the governor's and licensing board's COVID-19 advisory of premise having more than 6 patrons at a table. Employees observed not wearing face coverings, and premise providing live entertainment. Should be noted that an emergency hearing before the licensing board will be held on Monday, December 21st, 2020. A written notice of the hearing was provided to Ms. Fontaine. That is all.
Ms. Fontaine, would you like to address the alleged violations?
For the live entertainment, there wasn't a live entertainment. That's the gentlemen who walk around on the north end that come in everyone's restaurant. That's no one hires them. They just walk in and play, and people tip them.
And if I can follow up, Madam Chair and Madam Secretary, in regards to Ms. Fontaine's comment in terms of the live entertainment, there are individuals that are independent, is too elderly, really. I call them elderly because I've seen them firsthand on numerous occasions, that really walk around the neighborhood, whether it's Hanover Street and and Salem Street and pop in all the restaurants in the North End. And it's not unusual to see them at all. And they do.
To you, Attorney Toscano, you and your client need to be aware that's not allowed right now in the city of Boston.
Yes,
The people that are working in the restaurant, it's their responsibility to make sure that those people don't enter the restaurant. I'm going to remind you all, we're in the middle of a public health crisis.
yes, no, we certainly are.
So, Ms. Fontaine, that is not an acceptable answer to why there was someone in your restaurant playing entertainment.
Well, I didn't know that I couldn't allow them in, so now I know, and they won't be allowed in my restaurant.
Okay. Only people that are eating and dining are allowed in your restaurant, or staff.
Okay.
Thank you. I don't know if this is your opportunity to get clarification on any of our guidelines. This is your one opportunity. So we will listen and answer any of your questions. If you're unclear, please let us know. These are very unprecedented hearings, Monday morning hearing, COVID violations. So this is an extreme case that was brought to our attention. And I'm going to jump in and I'll let you answer other questions. But in addition to the multiple social media things that were shared with us, the behavior of your restaurant was elevated to a citywide enforcement meeting last week. And this is why you're here today. If you would like to address the specific allegations, please go ahead. If you want to address specific question, if you want to ask a specific questions, go ahead. There's no excuse for anyone to be eating or drinking inside your restaurant after 9:30 p.m. unless they order their food before 9:30 and have to finish by 10. I understand that people are walking through the neighborhood. It's your responsibility. Your license is at risk if you allow people in to play music and to entertain and to tip people. I'm very sorry that we are dealing with this right now. We've been working very hard with restaurants and other small businesses, but it is not permitted, and it will not be permitted. This board is not taking any excuses about these violations. This is a public health crisis. In the public media post, I don't know if the person who is starring in them is joining us today. If he wants to address his behavior, we'll listen to that too.
I don't think he's on, and Madam Chair, and certainly understand and certainly apologize for any actions taking place at Rabia's. New owners that, as you probably know, about a year old, that purchased the restaurant and entered a new lease agreement with the landowner. Ms. Fontaine, the manager on record, has been there 7 days a week trying to get things going. She's very hands-on. We've had a lengthy discussion about the violations over the weekend. Certainly understands. I don't think we'll have any issues moving forward. So like you said, can I sit here and make any excuse or, other than just apologize to the board, the public? But moving forward, Ms. Fontaine has been at the restaurant, trying to run a safe, good business. And we certainly understand that the issues presented today, and I don't think we'll see them moving forward, Madam Chair.
And to echo what Attorney Toscano said, we are trying to help you operate safely. If you cannot operate safely, you should close down. Detective Sergeant, do you have anything else you want to add?
Yes, ma'am. Sergeant Detective Gallagher here. When we went in that night, the place was in compliance. We had talked to Ms. Fontaine, and they had moved tables apart. In the video, it showed a group of like 10 people sitting on a back wall. That had been rectified. They told us what they had done. They were aware of the post. I don't think they'll happen again. As far as we talked to them about the late hours, and we couldn't authenticate that any of those Instagrams were after 10 o'clock. That's the only reason we didn't put it in the report. Their excuse was that the grades come down at the end of the night anyways. I hope that's the truth. But we had a long talk. We're there for quite a while, and I don't think you'll see them before you again.
Have you applied for bar seating?
Thank you. Have we applied for bar seating? I don't believe. I think it was an existing license. It was an existing license that we purchased. So we generally had the same floor plan. If the floor plan didn't change since Ms. Fontaine purchased it. So
okay, so
I think
the city came out with new guidelines last week.
Okay.
You cannot use your bar unless
Okay.
you're to see people at it unless you're approved by this board. So Ms. Fontaine, we have, you can contact our staff if you intend to have people sit at your bar to eat, and we
Okay.
work with you to approve a plan. Until then, you're not allowed to seat anyone at your bar. And are you on our email list? Because that will give you the most up-to-date guidelines coming out of this department.
I believe so.
Okay, so no one should be sitting at your bar until you have an approved bar seating plan reviewed and approved in writing by this office.
Madam Chair, just to clarify, in terms of the bar seating, is that just for COVID policies now? Or, okay, but I believe all right, because the existing license, I think she has seating, but this is an addition. Okay, perfect, thank you.
Yeah, we're living in a new world right now with COVID.
I know.
It's changing quickly.
Yeah.
It's your responsibility and your client's responsibility to stay on top of the changing guidelines.
Thank you.
We do our best. We post them on our website. We email them out to all of our licensees. We now have contact information, and the responsibility is on you to abide by them.
No, Leslie's very good about sending the notices to me, so I've been getting them, but thank you.
Commissioner Curran, Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions for the manager of record of this licensee?
I just really want to reiterate why entertainment is just not allowed. Respiratory droplets can go as far as 40 feet when someone is singing. So just because you are separating the tables by 6 feet, your entertainment, those respiratory droplets can go way farther than 6. So that's why entertainment is not allowed, live entertainment.
I have nothing to add. Thank you.
Leslie, you're on mute.
Thank you. This is the only agenda item before the board today. The board will take this matter under advisement. Thank you all for attending.
Madam Chair, everybody, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney.